Hi, I'm Stephanie Wilson-Coleman, known as the Empowerment Doctor, and I want to talk a little bit about how to become more fearless. See, our lives would be a lot more interesting and rewarding if we could just be a little more fearless. See, just a teeny bit of courage will help your self-esteem too. So you don't have to wish that you were bolder. You can be bolder. There is actually a fearless person running around inside of you, banging on you, asking to be set free. So how do we do this? Here are a couple of ideas that I wanted to share. First is avoid worrying about what others will think of you. I was always taught not to worry or be concerned about what people thought about you or what people said about you. Because my mother says that that's always trash. Because often the only person we really know is us. So when we say something about somebody else, we're actually really talking about ourselves. So unless you can put yourself in a history book or something and and look at what you did wrong 30 years from now or a century from now, what are you afraid of? Just get started. Then the next step is to ask yourself, what is the worst that can happen? People sometimes say die, but we go to sleep, but most people die in their sleep. So what is the worst thing that can happen? Are you in danger of failing or falling to your death? Can you lose a limb? You know what? You're probably worried about that too much if that's the case. So I want you to really start. Look at the worst outcome that could happen and see if you can live with that. Write that outcome down. And if you can live with it, there's nothing to worry about. And when you write that outcome down, I want you to write down 3 things that you would do to be successful or change that if it did happen. So that way you would have more assurances that the worst can't really happen. Then deal with smaller stressors and smaller fears. So when these fears come across your mind, I want you to stop and look at them and ask them, what are you to learn from it? Okay? Is it a big fear or is it a small fear? And if it's a small fear and you take care of that, what begins to happen is you'll be able then to manage any of the larger fears that come. So remember, deal with it when it's small, and then you won't have to deal with it when it's large because it'll never grow. As my mother used to say, you need to step on that and kill that when that's little, okay? Learn to relax. The best way to overcome a fear reaction is to relax. So I want you to train yourself to first feel the fear. Fear is real. I want you to feel it. Then I want you to relax your muscles, relax your mind. And I want you to think some peaceful thoughts and then breathe deeply. Breathe evenly and deeply. Just inhale and exhale for a couple of minutes. And as you relax your muscles and your breathing, you will then begin to have peaceful thoughts come to you. And when you do that and you relax, those small fears just disappear. Then play the odds. So we actually come up with all these things that we are really afraid is going to happen. And I did some research a little while back where scientists said only about 4 to 6% of that we fear happens. So just think about that. You're worried about 94% about things that's never going to happen to you. So let's stop worrying, or just do it anyway. Then I want you to realize that fear only happens between your ears. See, your fears are unique. Okay. Now there are some that some people may have, like fear of snakes, but not everybody is a fear of snake. Has a fear of snakes. Okay. Not everybody is afraid of dogs. So that's happening in between your ears. So I want you to look back to the source of that fear and see if you're making a mountain out of a molehill. Then focus on the positive possibilities. So rather than thinking about all the little things that might go wrong, I want you to focus on what might go right. Now, this is something that a lot of us do because I've caught myself doing this. So when I think about something that go wrong, I stop and I switch it to, well, what could go right? Then I think about those. I know in our minds, negative emotions are more powerful, but in our world where we are manifesting things, positive emotions are required. So switch those emotions. Then view fear as a challenge. So think of it as the beginning of a game. Okay? So you see yourself taking an action that you're afraid to take. I want you to stop, and I want you to be smart about it, and I want you to challenge yourself to do the things that you can actually do to improve your life. You can start with small things, but if it's a big thing that you need to accomplish, I want you to break that down into pieces and sections and do a little bit at a time. Well, nothing says that you've got to eat the whole elephant. You actually just eat it in pieces, and that will help you a lot. So if you do these things, you can live a fearless life and experience many more rewarding adventures, many more than you're doing now, because your fear is manufactured inside of your own head. So now, let's let go of that fear. Let us go and be bold. When I say be bold, I want you to do something that you're afraid to do, but do it anyway. Start today. Do something today. So right now, you just relax. Give yourself permission to move forward and just do it. Show yourself that there is nothing to fear. There is just everything for you to rejoice. I'm Stephanie Wilson-Coleman, the Empowerment Doctor. And remember, as I always say, life is too short to drink cheap champagne. Have a great day.